Good afternoon and happy Sunday, everybody. We're here. It is motivating the motivator. If it's noon, it's time to motivate the motivator. Oh, she jumped in early. Girl, love you, Tia. Thank you, babe. So, whoops. Tia, hold on a second. So, good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon, I should say. Guess what? It's time to motivate the motivator. So here we go. Tia, for some reason, I want you, Tia, request to join in because it's not letting me do that with you. It's not letting me have you come in, or you may have to log back in. So we'll try it again. But anyway, good morning, everybody, again. So today we are talking to Tia Sawyer. Can I mix up all my words or what? We're talking to Tia Sawyer. She runs Uzima Dance Fitness. And so Tia, come right back in, hun. Nope. So she is, we'll call her the president, I'm a chief motivating officer, but she is incredibly motivating when it comes to fitness, when it comes to health, when it comes to uplifting the community. She is just an absolute powerhouse. And how can I have a series called Motivating the Motivated without a powerhouse joining me? I'm thankful I've had all these powerhouses joining me. And she is, there she goes. And she is definitely, we're gonna wait for her to come in. So she is coming in. I love when you do all these things live because you never know when something's gonna work or when something's not gonna work, right? Hey, hey sis.
You got it.
I was just like, you gotta love this stuff when it's live because you never know when it's gonna work or when it's not gonna work.
You get what you get and you don't get upset.
And you don't get upset. Spoken like somebody who's doing remote learning with their kids. But
Absolutely.
we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was giving them the little tiny intro, your name, your company, but I love to give the longer intro when the person is here because I like to heap praise on someone when I can look them in the eye, so to speak.
I appreciate that.
And so now I'll give a little extra on who you are.
Don't forget the word fabulous.
Oh, there's no forgetting that.
Throw that in there. I don't want to.
Fantabulous, extra good. You know what? Everything. So I've followed you on Instagram for a while, and then I hadn't been able to get out and get to anyone's classes or anything. So I'm scrolling through and I see a little quick video of just this powerful movement of people. And I'm like, Uzima, I forgot all about, I should go out there and see. Mm-hmm. So I get out there and, we're mostly masked up and everything, but we're so distanced. It was like perfection. Yeah. You had probably 100 people. If I'm exaggerating, I doubt it. But you probably had about 100 people on that field. Everyone's like, I'm not exaggerating. I know I'm not. Because I was in the middle of it.
He got kicked out for 250. So
see, that's what I'm saying.
100 on either side, yeah.
And it's in, which orange are you in?
It was in East Orange.
It was in East Orange. So going over to East Orange, and I get there, and here's the thing. I was a little skittish because I'm like, I haven't really been out, haven't been around a lot of people. You had such control, and everyone had such, and it wasn't, I was trying to figure out the whole time, is it control or is it just this incredible respect? And I think it's the incredible respect that allows people to hear you and then just say, sure, I'll do that. So everybody was distanced. Everybody had a phenomenal time. Like, absolutely phenomenal time. There's movement, there's dance, there's camaraderie. 6 feet apart, camaraderie.
Yeah.
There's all of this stuff happening. And then afterward, you're very commanding in your presence, you're commanding in your passion, you're commanding in in your upliftment and your empowerment. Yeah. And you gave words of encouragement, words of upliftment. You don't mince words. You're like, look, y'all got to know this and you need to hear me. Yeah. And if I pet your ass, it's not going to happen. So I'm going to tell it to you right like it is.
Yeah.
And afterward, I was like, I got to go and hug her. hug her. And one thing I have to say about you, for my company, I'm the president. That's the official title. It's what's on my papers. But I'm the chief motivating officer.
Oh, CMO. I like that.
Yes, I am the CMO. I believe in motivation. You are a woman after my own heart, after my own passion and purpose and mission. And I was like, when I hugged you, that was all I needed. I was like, and I felt it right there.
I love that.
And so I wanted to give that to you right now before we even start this conversation, because I needed you to hear that.
Thank you, Latifah. I appreciate that.
So my love, we have Tia Sawyer. So tell me, who is Tia Sawyer?
Oh man, I'm not the CMO, but I think I might have to use that. I like that. But
it's on my cards. It's on my cards.
Really? I like that. I'm definitely the CEO of Village Fitness. So Village Fitness is a company that I created, I want to say in 2017, under which Uzima Dance Fitness, Aqua Fitness, and Boot Camp fall. So Village Fitness is the umbrella company. And I am the CEO. I'm also the only instructor at this point, full instructor, and I have underneath me, I want to say 7 co-teachers. And so Tia Sawyer is the person who has made it her life's work to pour into the community any way that I can. Fitness was a passion of mine to start. I want to say most of my adult life, but I got really into it to the point where I was teaching in 2015, the end of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
So in pouring into the community, I realized that we need more than just physical fitness. And I knew that we had to take it a step further. And that's where that other piece comes in. That sort of, I got to find a name for it. Tea with Tia. Some people said Tia Talks. I don't really have a name for it, but
I like Tia Talks, because forget them TED Talks. You got it going on, honey. We don't need TED. We got Tia.
Oh, I like that. Tia Talks. Okay.
Just saying. We don't need TED. We got Tia. I love it. So let's see, the road to Uzima. Because that's the part. I mean, we have both, because you have the company. We have the umbrella. So what's the road that led to that? What got you to doing that, and then to get these things underneath?
Okay, so the road begins, like many fitness stories do, as a New Year's resolution, right? So 2015, I believe, I resolved to lose weight. At my heaviest, I was 208 pounds. And the prior Christmas, I had taken a picture for Christmas, and I was like, oh, I can't even believe that is me. At that point, I had been diagnosed from 23 with lupus. So I had lupus, I was heavy, I was on medication, and the doctor kept saying lose weight. And I'm like, yeah, they just say that because they got nothing else to do. There's no cure for this thing. So, but that picture,
that did it.
That picture, hey, I didn't recognize myself, January 1st, my husband and I, we were in the gym 5 days a week, committed, no excuses, changed my eating. And I had lost 55 pounds by July of that year. And then November of that year, October, November of that year, I had gone in for a physical, and the doctors took blood work, and she said, we'll give you a call. They called me, and one of the scariest calls you could ever get in your life. She's like, we really just want you to come back in and talk about your blood work. So I was like, can you just tell me on the phone? She's like, no, we actually need to do this in person. And I was like, oh shit. I said, it's a cancer. Can you just tell me if it's cancer? She's like, we're really not at liberty to discuss this over the phone. I was like, oh my God, this is, so I go back in, and she says, we want to just run some more blood work, because your RNAs, these tests that determine whether or not you have lupus, show that there's no trace of it. So I was like, how is that even possible? She took the blood work again. She said, we don't want to say anything. Turns out I was in remission. I didn't know such a thing existed, but I had changed my diet, and I started to exercise and move so much that I had reclaimed. That was it for me, sis. So I was like, that's it. I did a thing. This is dope. I feel great.
Yes.
I also was surrounded by people in my family, my friends, and my community who had similar stories.
Right.
Health was affected by their weight, and then, not moving. So I said, yo, you know what? I go out in these streets. I'm always out here working out anyway. Hey, come family and join me. How much is it? It's free. I just want you to just come out here, and I'll show you how to do it. And people just started to walk by, and, in the park, we would be out in the park, Verona Park, in Verona by West Orange. And can we join? Sure, come on in. I would call people, come on and try this out, these heavy ropes. Come on and try this workout. And people just did it. And eventually we grew I want to say to maybe like 20 people out there in that park. And then the word spread on social media. I was also really very transparent with my journey in that I made this public proclamation that I was going to lose this weight so that I could use my community to keep me accountable, right? And so I weighed in every Sunday, and I showed what I was eating. I checked in at the gym. I showed a couple I offered free advice or things that worked for me. And then I developed a following in that way. People learned to trust that I was going to do the things that I said that I was going to do, and they followed along with me, and they started to see results, and that's how the following grew. That's how the movement began. The village fitness, the idea that we needed to take care of the village by bringing fitness to them in a way that we in our community understand. Because fitness has always been around. I didn't invent fitness.
It's always been there, but yeah, it hasn't always been made accessible, and it hasn't always been made to be inclusive, as in it is something for us. So we definitely have to take the reins on that.
Yes. Fitness for us, by us.
Yeah, definitely. And we all have a lot of the same stories. It's always similar. A lot of us, when we get into fitness, it was the personal journey that brought us there.
Certainly.
And wanting to make sure that our success is given to others. Yeah, we can't just be like, all right, I did well. Bye.
I did it myself, and I'm gone.
Bye.
I'm done, right? I believe survivors are supposed to go back for more. In any area of life, when you make it out of the trenches, and you know there are people back there that need your help, that need your support, that need guidance, it's your duty.
Go get them.
Get more. It's your obligation to your people. So that wasn't a second thought. There was no second thought behind it. I was like, we just got to go do it.
Right. And then Village Fitness is formed. And so so at first it was the exercising in the park.
It was the exercising in the park. It was the showing people on Facebook and Instagram. Because you can reach a larger audience with the social media. So it was people in Texas. Those aren't really my people, but it was like, hey, you're motivated out there in California? Cool. But
go for it.
In my backyard, like, what can I do for those people? So I started taking Zumba classes during my journey 2015. And I absolutely love Zumba. I'm from the Bronx. I know how to do that. Southside, Medellin. I know how to do it. That's my first love. And it was the way that I was introduced to a fun cardio, right? Because I can't speak for other people. I don't like running. I don't want to just run aimlessly or walk on a treadmill. But the dance fitness, made it almost seem like you just were partying, and all of a sudden you were sweating. All of a sudden you burned 600 calories.
All of a sudden you're healthier than you were when you walked in the room.
Absolutely. And you had a great time getting there, right? So I like to tell this story to the new people who come to my class. Although I love Zumba and I really could keep up with them, I would take those classes and I would look left and I would look right, and I would see Black people who look like me who weren't having the same experiences as the white and the Latina people. So they were in there, they were, okay, they could do that thing, right? And Black people were just kind of trying to keep up, like to the left, to the right. So,
girl, I used to teach Zumba. I know.
Okay, so you know how it is, right?
When I would sub for classes, I would show up and everyone was like, I would have soca. Yes. I would have, girl.
We
West African.
Our shoulders do something different. Like and our hips, when we move our hips.
And don't add a roll.
Don't
add a body. Come on now.
Right? And that's a different thing for us. And so but the way Zumba is designed, their structure is such that they want 70% Latin music, 30% anything else. And that 30% is like cool down and warm up. Like you want to play with a little hip hop, do that at the end, do that at the very end. But they didn't really. So I was like, there's no Zumba police in here. Let's put this hip hop. And everybody just keep your mouth shut. So we did that. And then we did a little whining. We did a little reggae. And people were like, yo. And not for nothing, everybody loves our culture. Okay? We are the Lowry seasoning salt of the world. So everybody loved it. Nobody was in there like, we don't like this. But Black people responded like, yo, I can do. So then they call it girlfriends. Girl, you got to see this class. This is not a regular Zumba class. And we grew in that way. And I realized that I was touching a population of people who hadn't been touched at that point in that way. I was reaching our people in a way that they hadn't been reached before. And I wanted to provide a space for us to feel like we belong. Like we were visitors to the Zumba space. Like, y'all can come, but this ain't about you. I wanted to create a space, where we were centered, where we were focused on, where we were celebrated. And now I will say this, Uzima came about because, as you know, And rightfully so, because I never wanted anybody to believe that like I'm against Zumba. Zumba didn't at the time want to include all that hip hop and Afro beats on.
No, they didn't.
And Zumba was literally handing out demerits. They will call the gyms and threaten to take their license away because there is no hip hop Zumba, there is no reggae Zumba. So, and to protect the integrity of their brand, I totally understand it.
Right.
You know what? Cool.
Definitely.
I totally understand where you're coming from.
So create your own, because
So
this
I'm
is
gonna
how it
create my
goes.
own thing so I can blacken it up and
This
ain't
is
nobody say nothing.
Isn't this how it always goes, though? You know, it's funny. I used to be an instructor with there's a dance fitness called Bali X. So it's Bollywood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same concept, because it's like you go into a Zumba class and they're like, this is not like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to, and you're right. And the people who started it know the same thing. They need to protect the integrity of their brand.
Have every right.
But we need to also
we'll
add
create our own brand. So
we create our own.
It would be the same thing as if somebody put a Nike sign on a store. You walked in because you love Nike, and they were like, "We don't really have Nikes, but we got these cool Adidas."
Right.
Hey, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
Brand to sell your product. I'm with them on that. And because now I am the owner, creator of Uzima, I wouldn't want anybody to use my name. And sell something different. So I totally and I respect it. And I respect it so much that I created my own so that I wouldn't muddle their brand.
Right.
But now I got my own thing.
Right.
That's why you gotta do your lips like this.
That's what. And don't. It has to go to the side, boo. It ain't working if it don't go.
Yeah.
So I know you got that. I love that. And why do you feel it's so important? So we know why it's important to have the brand. We know why it's important to own that. Yeah. So you have that brand, you have that. So what makes it so important to have it in the community? What is the mission? What is the goal? Why is it so important?
So you and I know, and probably most people in our community know, that we are starved for more, that we are starved for information oftentimes. And if I'm honest, between me and you and the few people that are watching right now,
and we'll watch later because this will be up. It's just between me, you, and the wall. Don't worry about it.
The part that I believe makes the biggest impact is the Tia talks at the end. And for me, at this point, that's really why I'm there. I know my people want to get a little twerking in first. I know you got to give the people what they want, and they came here for a good old time, and okay, so I'm going to give you that. But that dancing is the spoonful of sugar that makes the medicine go down.
Honey, please, yes.
You want to get this medicine. I came here to give you the shot.
Right.
But first, I'm going to use some puppets first, and I'm going to make you laugh, and I'm going to make you dance, and then I'm going to say, everybody sit down and get this medication.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a way to kind of make the medication more palatable.
Mm-hmm.
It is easier for our people to receive. And I know that is absolutely necessary.
Your comments on here, by the way, people are like loving it. Someone just said, I love the talking part.
Yeah, listen, I love these people. This is my family. Look, my family show up. I see you there.
I know.
I have people come in. So my class, let's say, starts at 7:45. I'm like, why are you here? The class is almost done. What are you? You're late. You're extremely late. People will come to me and go, yeah, I just came for that other part. You drove all the way over here for 7 minutes? Because we, on average, 5 to 7 minutes, I may say a little something. And
I'm loving these comments, by the way. I don't know if you can see them. They're talking about
I see a little bit as they come up.
Yeah, that's why I come. This is why I love that. They know it.
They know. And they know I know. And they
know
okay, because they know I'll get them.
Yes.
But yeah, man, I think and not for nothing, that is the part for me that I love the most. Obviously, we love the dance fitness, we have a good time. I think I'm pretty good at that part too. But I also want to be able to pour into my community something more substantive, something more substantial for them to go home with. And undoubtedly, every single time, inevitably, at the end of each class, somebody will come to me and say, you were talking to me. and give me a hug, a little, hug just a little too long because they really needed that,
Right.
That was about me and my daughter. I was going, girl, I lost my mom, and I needed this. This was the thing that I need. One of the greatest things I heard was a woman who moved here from, I think she said she moved from Ohio, and she was in an all-white space there, and then she moved here into an all-white space, and she said she was struggling to fit in or to find a space she could call home, and she had a therapist say to her, find Black spaces where you can go and be surrounded by people who feel like you. And I don't know how she found me, but I'm glad she did. And she came to class and she hugged me. She cried. So I just kind of let her just stay there until you can fix your face. Don't get back up. And she's like, I really just go on. It's all right. She said, but I really needed this space. And I'm like, yo, this is, I feel great to have been able to create a space like this. And not for nothing, I need the space too.
Absolutely.
I'm here, I needed it too. So this is my family. I need them like they need me. They just don't know.
I hear you. I hear you.
Listen,
I hear you from here, though.
I hear them like they pour into me.
Yeah.
I love to hear. I appreciate the appreciation, but these people don't have a clue that I believe that I'm walking in my life's purpose, and without them, I couldn't do it. And so everybody's like, thank you, Tia. Thank you, Tia. This is so wonderful. I'm like, yeah,
And in your head and heart, you're like, no, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I like to explain to people, they think, I come in here like I'm Tia, I'm famous, I'm fabulous. Y'all better move out the way because this is about to go down, But
by the way, y'all, so people on here who haven't taken her class, she does come off that way in a good way. You're like, because when you're like, I want that. I need that in my life. I need that now.
Wait a minute now. Wait. Look at my Beyonce glass. Okay, my beautiful.
Wait, click. Oh, mine looks gross. I had a shake. My bad.
Okay, mine is prettier than yours, but this is just for show. I'm not actually drinking it. I just.
I always try to make sure it's pretty, but then the drink itself is not. Let me sidebar. This is kale, strawberries, blueberries, and then maca, hemp seed.
So it's brown. Kind of starts to look like mud. Yeah, I'm real bougie about my smoothies. They got to be light green, light-skinned green. I need them light green. So pineapple, mango, yellow fruit, the strawberries. I
have a little mango in there, but you can never tell because all that kale just kind of.
Yeah, the kale takes over. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it goes right to what we're talking about with community and family and health, and because I feel that, and that's why I was drawn to what you were saying, what you were doing. I feel like it's all the same thing. When you talk about wellness is not just dancing. You already know wellness is getting in here. Yeah. So that here, I used to say things like, I need you to get it in your head so it can trickle down to your body.
There you go.
Body
connection.
Yeah. If we don't have this, that's why your talks were like, And it's funny because yes, the dancing, you're right. The dancing was fun. These are so, I love, you got some powerful, some powerful testimonies going on here. But for me, it was, and I'll give my personal testimony with you, because I did start out by saying it was the first time I'd really gone out.
After
during quarantine, because a lot of my students had gotten sick. Some of them will never be the same. Yeah. Ever. So I know this is serious. This is real.
Going out.
Yeah, this is real. So I was extremely cautious about going out. I go for walks in my neighborhood because you don't see anybody. You can walk for an hour and not see anybody. Yeah. So I did all of that, but I was really getting in my head in a bad way. And even though I had my clients, I still taught classes, I still did all that stuff, but it was all virtual.
Yeah.
And I am a hugger.
Yeah.
I know people say people person is not a thing.
Yeah.
People person is a thing. Yeah. And I am a people person. And it was just, I wasn't getting it.
And we draw our energy from other people.
And I'm all filled up with all this stuff that I'm usually giving out.
Yeah.
And dropping earrings. And and when I got to class with you, my cup was filled.
Oh.
I refilled my cup.
The ultimate compliment.
The movement, first, honey, dancing is just me. Yeah. That's just what I do. Yeah. So the dancing, yes, but when you were talking, I was like,
Yeah, so at the end we talk, but sort of in between, I try to do what I can.
But you're doing it all in between everything, and there's the talking and the encouragement. You encourage us to keep going. You encourage us to talk to our neighbors, so to speak. You encourage us to
think.
Don't just be there, but whatever we get from there, take it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever you learn here, take it out. Yeah. If you got 100 people standing there, guess those 100 people are going to go out and be able to spread your
and shame on me if I got this many people out here and I give them nothing. What do you do with a platform like this? But people don't realize that with a platform like this comes a responsibility, whether you like it or not. So you got these people out here and we twerk and we go home. You got the ears, the minds, the hearts of 250 Black women out here. What you gonna say? It's also incredibly high pressure, just so we're clear. But you can't, what are you doing with these people, with this Black community? So, you know, it is, I think it's dope to motivate people and to inspire people to move on their own. I think it's even better when you can empower people to do their own shit when you're not around. Because it's dope that they're in my space working, but if you can empower them, take something with them that they can then turn into something magical on their own. I think that's where I think that's the best part about it. You know, for me anyway. Yeah.
So you have this big platform. And one of the things that you've done with it, you've done many things, but one of the things you did was you had a fundraiser right before school began. I know you probably do so many, but the one that I had, you had a fundraiser for putting together remote learning packages.
Yeah, remote learning stations.
Yeah. So I want to talk about that a little bit, and why you think it's so important, and how people. So I'll just what it was, why it's so important, and how folks can continue to help, because it's a continuation. This is going to be going on for a minute.
For sure. So what it was, so just like anything that we do with this, that I do with this community, these things just happen organically. Like I don't know if I'm the person that is super organized and put together. Like I get a thought and I'm like, damn, these kids are probably really struggling. They don't have spaces in their homes. We probably should do a thing. I'm going to say that tomorrow in class. There wasn't a whole lot more that went into that. Or like a focus group or a team meeting. I'm just like, yo, this is the thing we should do. I got a bunch of people out here who will help. I know they will. And let people say what they want about my community. My people come through always. I've never had a fundraiser or any kind of thing where we didn't come through. Our people are constantly looking for opportunities to be constantly looking for opportunities to take care of each other. Can't nobody tell me different. So I know when I tap that well, it's gonna come gushing out of there. So I said, this thing has been a bit of a struggle for me, and my son has his own room and his own desk way before this whole learning station. He's got a desk, he's got his area. My husband is an educator. We good. And I'm struggling with it, with creating a space where he feels like he's not in his home, but in a classroom setting where he can learn, where he can focus. And I'm fortunate enough to have that space. So I said, what would be dope if we could get like these little desks that I'm actually using one now because my husband had one. And it was like $30. We should get some for these kids, and maybe some supplies. School supplies don't cost that much. Pencils, papers, they got 20-cent notebooks and staples. We should do that. Now, I'm not independently wealthy. I don't know what the people think, but I don't have a whole lot of money. I can't afford to buy this thing. But I know some people.
People who can give.
And they can give in, and we can do that. So I said, I'm going to just make this speech. Now, I have a therapist. I was talking to my therapist about this last week. I also do a lot of work based on the fact that I grew up poor and that I had so many struggles as a kid. So I'm always kind of thinking from that space. And I had to ask her, I'm like, is that a bad thing? She said, no. What does it make you do? Does it make you want to do good? I said, yeah. She goes, no, then it's a great thing.
It's a good space.
Should I not be living in that space? She's like, no. If that thing encourages you to do great things. So I said, you know what? I remember struggling. I remember being, poor. And I remember this being a really very stressful time for my mom. Back to school clothes, books, supplies, and she would take it out on us. And I was like, I just can't deal with kids struggling. So I'm like, yo, how can we help? So I literally was like $30 for a desk, maybe $10 to $15 worth of supplies. Hey, if you people give $35, for a station, we can provide as many as we can. And I was able to come up with almost 40, I think 38 stations with desks, school supplies, books, markers, pens, I mean, just everything. Whiteboards for the kids, cork boards, scientific calculators, because we, sort of differentiated with the groups, age groups. Mm-hmm. So we were able to really do well. We collected quite a bit. But, and while it is absolutely amazing, I'm not surprised. I'm never surprised. My people are, let me tell you something.
We come through. We come through. I don't care what the narrative is that other people create. We come through for each other. We're always willing to help each other. And that's been my experience. And if it's been your experience that Black people don't help, Black people don't do, you might need to be around some new Black people, sis. Because the Black people I know are dope. So, honey, yeah. When I hear, I'll never do business with Black people again, I'm like, why? Because one Black person did something wrong? Give me a break.
Let me tell you something. Target.
Because if Target messes with you, you go to Walmart.
You go right back, right. Or you go to a different aisle. The Target cashier was nasty on aisle 8. You go, I'm never going to go to her again. I'm going to aisle 11. Miss me with that. Yeah.
I've heard that. And as a Black-owned business and someone who's the product of a Black-owned business, because my parents had one too.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all going to give us some grace. You're going to give us some grace.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you say definitely give us grace, because business owners don't always do the right thing, and sometimes we're human.
And we're learning.
We're always learning. Yeah. But we give good products. We give good face. We give good products. We give good tools.
Usually because we're small, and it is me making the shea butter. It is me creating the product. So I put my back and my heart and soul into that with my bare hands. This is not a mass produced in some factory. Somebody doesn't care, slap a sticker on it and send to you. So we do really well. I'm first of all, let me represent Black owned businesses. Look at this here. Unapologetically herself. Look, I'm bald silhouette.
I love it.
Okay. From underscore gotta have it boutiques. Okay. We Black owned business. Black owned business.
Then I guess I should do mine too. I'll stand up. This is.
Let me see. Oh, let me see. Revolution. Come on, revolutionary. What does it say underneath that?
Revolutionary representation. So actually, I have my own shirts. Every week I have something on from someone, but this week it's from Commando Fitness. Yeah. Sonia Herbert. She's the head of Black Girl Pilates.
Commando Fitness.
I'm a member of that. So it's Black Girl Pilates, and these are her shirts. Revolutionary representation. And then I'll have my shirts up in a little bit because But yeah, we always have to continuously support. And actually that goes into, well, wait, let me go back a little bit. So how are you going to be doing another fundraiser? How do you feel people can still help? Because it is ongoing.
Yeah. So I would encourage people to do that in their own spaces. Everybody has a village. I did it. I did what I could do. I reached out to a couple of schools, and we worked with children whose names were, or kids who qualify for free and reduced lunch. So these are probably the kids who could use this the most. And we reached out. My husband is also an educator. He's in school, so he reached out to a couple of his teacher friends. But do this in your own village. I encourage you to. I literally will put up the post, the link to the Staples desk, $30, and school supplies. Buy them by the dozen. 10 books. Yeah. Like, just go ahead and bless somebody in your area. Knock on your neighbor's door. We don't do that enough. We tunnel vision like my family's good, we good. Go over here and see if Aunt Margie needs a little help. Go down the street and see if the lady that's always pushing a cart to the laundromat could use a little help. And do that. I would encourage people to do that in their own village. But I will be talking about this. What are we doing? We're collecting $25 from each person that cares to donate to create a Thanksgiving meal. So that $25 provides a full turkey and vegetables, fresh produce for families. And we're going to be working with people in the Georgia King Village. And I'm competing with quite a few big heavy hitters. Now I'm trying to do what I can with my little community, but I'm going to be working, my friend Janice Johnson, who's amazing, is going to be going up against Lisa Maxwell, who is just like a big wig at MasterCard. Mona Scott King is going to be going against Yandy Smith. They do this every year. So they just invited me in, so I'm feeling real, okay, I got to get my community.
Love it.
for me. And I will be going against another woman whose name I cannot remember right now. So I apologize if she sees this. But yeah, so we're just trying to collect as much as we can to give out to people for Thanksgiving. That's going to be our next initiative. But we have quite a few. Pasta and pads. We created, we collect pasta and other dried foods and women's feminine products for students at Central High School in Newark, New Jersey. Because period poverty is a thing that people aren't really aware of, right? There's so many of us who can't secure for ourselves monthly pads, tampons, ladies' products. So we're still collecting that. People still drop off pads. We've got so many. Christmas time, we collect toys for the children of detainees in Essex County Correctional Facility. That's not a thing that I promote heavy. But part of me is just like, I really don't want to always be putting it out there like I'm doing just all this great work. So some of it is, but it's behind the scenes and quiet.
Because the work doesn't.
I'm working it out.
Okay. Because the work doesn't glorify you.
It doesn't.
The work glorifies the community, and the work glorifies the work that we can do as a collective.
Yeah, right.
So I know I'm not, but by the way, loving that you are talking therapy. I'm always talking about mental health with my folks that come on this show. Constantly talking about making sure, because there's a lot of PTSD in our community, and we act like we don't have it.
Also, I think the focus on health is usually about physical health, right? The idea is that
it's mental and physical.
Our bodies are fat. Diabetes runs in my family, or things like that. But we got to be mindful that health is not just the absence of illness,
right?
But the presence of wellness.
Right.
And so when you say, I don't have diabetes, so I'm good. Yeah, but you grew up in an abusive environment, so maybe you should get a therapist. You know what I mean? Like, but look how skinny I am, so I'm not fat, so I'm good. Yes, but you're still in an abusive relationship. So maybe
let's work on the most beautiful part of your body.
Yeah. Yes, but you also can't live in this country, dare I say, on this globe as a Black person, experiencing this global epidemic that is anti-Blackness, and not have some sort of a traumatic takeaway. We all
definitely
some way. So everybody can use somebody to talk. So I'm a huge
definitely.
Sure.
It's so funny. Last week, it's not funny, but last week I interviewed my aunt, and she was like, cancer, racism is a cancer that has only been in remission in this country. Yeah.
Racism is the cancer that's only been in remission. Remission meaning that it's somehow lessening.
No, it was in remission because it wasn't at the surface. Like everybody had this. Sort of it wasn't up there. Because when cancer's in remission, when things are in remission, it's not that it's completely gone.
Right.
It's that it is dormant, or And she was like, it was still here, but it was so below the surface. Everybody was trying to be so outwardly whatever.
I believe we socially shamed it out of
out of being the thing that people see.
Yeah, it's not
acceptable. But we knew it was there. We all knew it was there.
Racist anymore. You can't say nigger. Nigger is not okay. So now we find another way to
we find other ways. We don't give you mortgages.
Right.
We make sure that
redlining still exists.
Redlining is good. Gentrification and mass incarceration. Make sure the books. Yeah.
So workers migrated here from Africa in the book. Go away, sir. We're not listening to that shit.
Oh my gosh, that made me just go.
You remember that?
Of course I do.
Workers migrated here from Africa.
You know why that really bothered? I mean, it bothered me on 8 billion levels, but I was like, bruh, really?
Right.
Really?
But you know what? They start with the kids. You're feeding that to babies.
That cannot happen. That cannot happen.
That's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode. So I was like,
for that episode.
That's a whole. Speaking of the babies, how's remote learning for you?
You got time? Is that what you want to just do this for another 2 hours? Is that it? I'm going for something. My beautiful friend Anissa, I don't know if she's watching Black Violet on here now, posted something and tagged me in it, and I was like so touched. She said, shame dies when safe spaces are created. Right? She said, thank you, Tia, for creating a safe space. And that safe space is created during the Tia Talks. I talk about this openly. I don't believe in, I don't have any shame when it comes to, most of these things. I'm struggling with this remote learning. I'm struggling. And if you say that, just like many other ways in which Black people, Black women specifically struggle, people will push back against it. Strong Black women, you're going to be all right. Don't even worry about it. Wait, no, I'm going to sit in this. I'm going to sit in this. I'm telling you I'm struggling. Don't tell me I'm not. I'm not a superhero. You're strong. You can get through it eventually, I imagine. Right now, this is really proven to be challenging for me in a way that I wasn't prepared for. My husband is an educator. I consider myself an educator. I got this. My children are geniuses. Okay, you listen to my son talk. Okay, he's online and he cries for no reason, and he can't, and is writing the G backwards. And I say that one is backwards, and he cries again. And I say, don't cry on camera. And then he fixes his face, and yo, this is a lot. And then the fact that he doesn't get out. He's a boy. I mean, my girl is filled with energy, but they want to sit. They can't sit still, and they want to move, and they want to play. And I'm saying, focus. Look at the camera. Don't move around. He's got his underwear on. Put your pants. Why are your pants off? Come to the bathroom. And I left him in the bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
Well, then you should appreciate, the teachers then. One, I've always appreciated.
I've always appreciated them, yes.
Educators are the most underrated, employed people on the planet. They're literally shaping and molding the minds of our children. They should be making NBA.
They are shaping the minds of the future of the country, of the world. They are
the highest paid people on earth.
Yes.
Right? But they're not. So I absolutely appreciate. That said, this ain't that. This ain't that. I'm not his teacher. He says, this is not a classroom. I said, besides, time to go to class. This is not This is my room. And my son is 6. I'm sure, people who have different experiences who have older children. But I'm hands-on. He doesn't know how to upload and download and then take the link and then cut, copy, and paste. I have to be there. So that essentially this is my new job, sitting next to him, watching him work and helping him work. And this has become really really challenging, to the point where I literally, a couple weeks ago on a Tuesday, I remember I had a breakdown. My husband came home and touched me. He said, I just want to say you're doing a great job with this. And I was like, I'm not doing a good job. I don't want to do it anymore. Between me, you, and our listeners here, I said to my husband, I'm not enjoying my children. This is work now. I'm not having a good time with them. I'm not singing songs and having a good, I'm saying, dude, you're supposed to color it. How come you didn't color? Oh, okay, just give it to me. You got to turn this in. You should have told me yesterday. So then when he comes home, my husband, fresh and happy from work, he takes them out, and I'm like, I need a break. I'm just take them. So that means I don't get to enjoy my babies all day. I'm not enjoying them during the day. I'm like, get rid of them at night. Then they come home, they get in the shower and go to bed. And the guilt, the mommy guilt. What kind of mother are you? Because they're like, let's all go to the playground. I'm not going to the playground. I'm staying right here. Mommy's done. Mommy is done. And my son literally said, Ma, you never go with us. You only just daddy goes with us to the playground. That broke my heart. I still ain't going to the playground, but it broke my heart. They're going to learn that mommies need time too. It broke mommy's heart. I'm going to see you when you get back. Let me get over what you just said. 2 or 3 tears, and then I'll put this Netflix show on, because I'm trying to find out who the killer was. Who was the murderer? I got you. See? Karma. Yep, karma. I'm talking bad about those babies. He's like, dang, I'm talking bad about my babies. Oh, wow. But we're going to get there. I will get through it. I will absolutely. You will get it, yeah. But in the meantime, I think it's great to be able to have these conversations and to make sure other moms. Someone just wrote the same thing. She's like, yeah, she's working from home and parenting. It's just hard. When you say things, when you create these spaces, inevitably you'll see people come, girl, me too. Meanwhile, everybody's putting up a straight, like a great face. They got the pictures of the kids and everything is great on social media. And then I'm struggling. And it's not. Too, girl. Like, yeah. And it's interesting because I put up a post on, I have a Facebook group, right? And I put up a post because I'm very open and honest about living with depressive anxiety. I'm very open about being a recovering bulimic. I'm very open about dysmorphia,
I'm very open about all those things. So I had a post and I was like, listen, this. And everyone's like, oh, but you're beautiful. Oh, but you've got, oh, but this, but this, but this. Because, you know, our bodies change. I'm 49. I'm not the same way I was.
I said, come on, 49. You look good.
For real. Not the same way I was 40. I'm just not. It is what it is. You know, I looked at a picture of myself when I was 40 and I cried because I was about to build and I was lifting and lifting and lifting. And you know what? But I don't feel like doing that anymore. I just don't. So, but I'm healthier than I was back then.
Yeah.
So I had to like have a moment with myself. So I put that out there. And I think sometimes that level of honesty, it makes people uncomfortable. It makes people uncomfortable that we are so courageous in our vulnerability.
Certainly. People don't recognize that there's strength in vulnerability. I think that most people think
Definitely.
vulnerability is synonymous with weak, right? You can't handle it. That's why you're crying. But I would suggest the exact opposite. So this idea that you've masked your pain, that you won't come to terms with the fact that you really do feel very similar to the way I do. And I spoke about this, I think last week in class, and we talked about the fact that we consider that we're doing, our friends a favor. We say, no, girl, you're beautiful. No, don't you? You are fine. What you're doing is you're telling me that I'm not safe to speak my truth around you. And so it's not going to make me not feel it or feel better. I'm just not going to talk to you about it. And you're going to end up pushing me away. But so many of us cannot access our full emotional library because we spend our lives running away from feeling. I'm not doing that. That's how you end up under a bed in the fetal position crying. I got kids, bitch. I can't do that. Bed. I'm going to tell you now I don't feel good. And I'm going to tell you what's going to make me feel a little better. Husband, I need you to get these kids and get them out of here now. Okay? Then when they come home, I'm like, look at me feeling better. I done took a shower, put some deodorant on. I put a bra on.
Because it's all about the deodorant. Ooh, you know, nowadays when you put a bra on, isn't like dressing up.
That mean you okay? You serious about life again? I'm serious about life. I can do this now. Come on now, I got a good Victoria's Secret bra. Okay? but the idea is that we do each other a disservice when we say to each other without saying you're not allowed to feel like that. Especially as a black women are strong. Strong doesn't mean impervious to pain. Strong doesn't mean that I can't feel pain. I am strong and I will get through this. I know. That's a fact. That said, I'm going to sit in these feelings and investigate how I got here, right? And what are some of the ways in which I need to behave, or some of the things that I need to do to create a path forward. But I got to do that from this space. I'm not going to fake it till I make it. Fake it till you make it is garbage advice. Garbage. I ain't trying to insult nobody, but it's garbage. I'm not going to pretend to be something that I'm not. That's masking. That's not authentic. And I'm not doing that. And I dare say anybody who does struggles in a way, that they don't realize will be detrimental to them in the end. That, dress it up, get your nails done, right? No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to cry. I'm going to let my husband know what I need so that I can get this help. That's another thing. We don't accept help oftentimes in our community because we think that it makes us, we don't ask for help and we don't accept it. And I struggle with that too. No, girl, I can't ask you to do that until I had people say, you didn't ask me. I offered it. You're telling me, no, I can't help you? Are you consider me a friend? You telling me, no, you won't accept my help? Right? And I had to rethink that and kind of go, you get to feel. And I would also, we will help our friends. We won't accept help. How she deserves help and love and attention and care.
And you don't. And that's what I'm working on that as well. And but it's something that we have to work on. You're like, nope, sip. As she sips.
Help too. I gotta struggle. I think we also too in our community oftentimes, a lot of us struggle. Black people are not a monolith, so everybody doesn't have the same story. But I think most people struggle. And I think that we get so used to struggle. We have normalized struggle so much so that we expect it. So if you've ever if you've ever been on an even plane and everything was good and you looking for the shoe to drop. Oh hell no, this dude is too good. He's gay. Something's wrong with him.
And that mindset makes things drop anyway.
Absolutely.
You're not going to be at the top of your game to keep that going.
Right. Exactly. And so you'll confirm for yourself. You'll find a way to confirm for yourself that you were right, that this thing is. So we are waiting for struggle. And if we don't If it doesn't happen, we will manufacture it. We're going to make struggle because we're most comfortable with struggle. So I can do struggle. I know how to navigate struggle.
I've been there, done that. I'm not, that's why I tell people, like, survival is dead. Thriving is in. Survival is dead. Enough of that. We know how to survive. Yeah, we're good at that.
We got that already.
We got that already.
Survival.
Now how do we get past that?
Yeah, can we live? Can we enjoy? I think it was Les Brown that said,
ooh, Les Brown.
Les Brown, I love me some Les Brown.
Love me some Les Brown. Oh my God.
He said most people fail in life not because they set the bar high and miss, but because they set the bar low and hit. And so we like, yo, it can't get much better than this. Bologna sandwiches, I'm fine with that. We set it low.
If you like beef, go get it.
Right.
Prime rib.
You know you can get you some prime rib though. You know steak exists. You might have to work a little harder for it.
Right.
But that's quality of life. I choose quality. I choose to
always
make my life good. I'm not gonna sit and suffer my whole goddamn life. I don't know.
No. I know.
And it's like this ain't nothing but some Polar Spring.
I know, but the way you sip it, when you like, life is quality, and then you take that sip, you're like, it may be Poland Spring, but you know
that's
what?
Exclamation point.
Boom.
Boom. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So let's just real quick, because I love you, honey.
I love you back, baby. We family.
Family. I don't know if you know this yet, but we're gonna be doing some work together.
Oh, okay. Put it right on out there. All right.
We're gonna be doing some work together.
My cousin is on
there. I'm always putting. I believe in the power of yes, community, but various communities. Your community, my community, because we're not. I'm in Bergen County. You're in Essex County, and I do know a lot of people in Essex, so it's really funny. But
collaborative effort.
Collaborative efforts are everything. They're everything.
We're such an individualistic people anyway. We do a lot of things alone. It's important that we realize that collaboration helps.
It does.
Take the weight off. Don't burden yourself unnecessarily if you don't have to.
And you reach more people.
Sure.
More people are empowered. That's my word anyway. You see, it's Empower Fit Chick, but my company is Empower Fit. It's all about empowerment. It's all about finding that voice. It's all about when you find that voice, what's that voice saying? Mm-hmm. How are you using that voice? Yeah. How are you using it to uplift and empower yourself first,
and then change in your community.
Moving on out. Mm-hmm. So we only have a few minutes left. I can't believe it was that fast.
Yeah.
I looked down, I was like, dang, the time is almost gone. Yeah. So we got about four minutes. Yep, 4 minutes, because my thing just clicked. Yeah. So I like to end with two things. So one, parting words. So if you got about 2 minutes, give them, everyone that's watching this, some words from your heart, something you want to leave. I know. And I said 2 minutes. You're like, girl, I do a Tia talk.
Well, yeah, but you know what's crazy is I do a Tia talk, but I don't do talk. People go, we'd love for you to come and speak. I'm not a speaker. I just say what I say. I can't have a speech. I don't do speeches. And I don't have a word. What kind of word? I would suggest.
But anything, just some last words that something you want people to know about you, or to know about how to live, or just something that you feel is very profound.
So I would suggest that anybody listening, watching, now or later, if you plan to be successful in any area of your life, self-development is key. It's really very important to keep an open mind. It is really very important to constantly be updating your data bank. I'm going to suggest that we do the work of reading or otherwise intaking new information. There are lots of other resources, Audible, because I know I'm an avid reader. Everybody doesn't love to read Audible, YouTube videos, but taking in new information, surrounding yourself by people who have different thoughts, who think differently from you, different thoughts, different experiences, different perspectives, so that you expand your awareness, and step outside of your comfort zone, because outside of that comfort zone is where you're going to find success.
Yes.
Yeah. So the way that you update your iPhone, I want you to update your own data bank.
I love that.
Always be willing to take in new information.
Now, one last one. So I ask everyone to give me a number between 1 and 10.
6. Uh-oh.
Ready?
Tarot cards?
No. 1, 2, 3,
Home?
4, 5. Words of affirmation.
Oh.
So what you chose today is I am loved. So that I am loved.
That I appreciate that, but that's the thing that I know. I can feel that from my community.
So our affirmation today, I'm leaving everyone with, because Tia chose it, is I am loved.
You are loved.
I am loved. Sis, this was absolutely wonderful.
Oh, I'm glad. I had a good time. Thank you for having me.
I so appreciate it, and I so appreciate you sharing so much of who you are, and I appreciate you being open, honest, and relentless with power and passion.
Yeah, happy to do it.
That is what it is. Sis, have an amazing Sunday, and God bless with the remote learning, honey.
I'm gonna call you on the side. We're gonna discuss this.
We can discuss it. I can talk a lot of crap because my son is now 20. He's in college and he's doing his thing.
Good. So
he's got his own way of.
You got plenty of space. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday.
Take care, love.
All right.
Bye.